Welcome to Independent RX Forum with the National Community Pharmacists Association, America's leading advocate and business education provider for independent community pharmacists. Independent RX Forum is powered by RX Connection.
Hello and welcome to Independent RX Forum, the official podcast of the National Community Pharmacists Association. I'm your host, John Beckner. We're glad you could join us. Today's podcast showcases the NCPA Executive Residency Program, and I'm fortunate to have one of our two residents this year. NCPA is very fortunate to have two residents, but I'm fortunate today to have Jacqueline Estes with me. Jacqueline, great to be with you.
Thanks, John. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you joining me. So let's start out. I want to hear about your background before coming to the residency program here at NCPA.
Yeah, so I am from Southwest Missouri, from a town called Nixa, um, where my family is from, which ultimately had a huge role in shaping who I am and wanting to go into pharmacy. One of my sisters was born 2 months early, so she has a few disabilities as well as a seizure disorder. And all throughout her life, she has had to try a multitude and concoctions of medication. So having a front row seat of this has inspired me to go to pharmacy school. I knew very early on by high school that that's what I wanted to do to help other people get medication access and help them get on the best regimen possible. So I knew that going in and volunteered at our local hospital down there and pharmacies and getting all the experience that I could. And that led me to going to pharmacy school at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. So that's UMKC. I'm very grateful for my time.
Great reputation, by the way.
Yes, I love UMKC and all my professors there. They've really helped shape and mold me to who I am today. Ultimately, my love of independent pharmacy came from my experiences from UMKC and working at my independent pharmacy over there. And they specialize in functional medicine and hormone replacement therapy, and just grew my love for independent pharmacy. Also, during my time, I worked with the Missouri Pharmacy Association,
Mhm.
with the Missouri Vaccine Gap Closure Project.
Oh, great.
So had a lot of interest in vaccines, and the base of that project is medication synchronization. So did a lot of research on clinical services even before coming to NCPA's executive residency.
So I really appreciate you sharing the story about your sister. I'm always interested in hearing how people got interested in pharmacy and pursuing pharmacy. So that's great to hear that. So obviously you've got history with independent pharmacy. What anything else that chose you to pursue the residency here?
Yeah, that is a great question. I think ultimately it did come from my love of independent pharmacies, and that NCPA does it on the national scale
Yeah.
and helps pharmacies even from something as simple as filling their medications to clinical services all the way to the advocacy portion as well.
So I know you, but like Charlotte, you're co-resident person here at NCPA. I think you've been involved in some more, maybe more of on the advocacy side than she may have.
Yes, that is, probably true. We've both had tons of different experiences that have touched all departments at, NCPA. With the advocacy and policy side, I have gotten very involved with our state team with Joel in Brooklyn, which has been such a delight. I have been tracking all scope bills that relate to, different clinical services and vaccinations.
There are quite a few across the state.
Yes, there are. So it's a very busy time, and I've learned so much from them. Even starting very early on in the residency, I had the opportunity to be involved with our regional chain group of just powerhouse pharmacists and owners, and go to the Hill and advocate alongside of them, which has been just an amazing transformational experience.
I remember I think I attended one of the regional fly-in meetings with you.
Yes, you did.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was it was a good experience for me, and I'm sure it was for you as a resident. Were you involved in the Maine fly-in this year, back in a couple months ago, I guess?
Yes, I was, and I advocated with, my home state, which is Missouri.
So you went to Hill visits with your Missouri team then?
Yes, I did, which was so much fun getting to, even meet new faces from my own
Yeah.
home state and get involved with, even a couple of students as well who joined us, and seeing their fire for independent pharmacy was great too.
So had you done anything like that before, in terms of Hill visits on the state level? Uh,
Yeah, I have. I have been to Jefferson City, which is Missouri's capital, and advocated there, as well as a student. I was chosen as the sole representative for UMKC to represent our school at NACDS's RX Impact Day. So I
Mhm.
came out to DC and talked about different reform bills relating to pharmacy and healthcare policies. And that was also with a Missouri crowd. So I got to see some familiar faces from that time at this, NCPA's fly-in in 2026.
I'm really glad you were able to participate because everybody that does the fly-in comes away having a greater appreciation of the impact you can have from with face-to-face visits, and this year was a little bit different, with PBM reform passing, opportunity to thank people, but also, kind of, let them know that the battle's not completely won. We've gotta keep pushing for PBM reform, and I'm sure you saw that from your visits.
Yes, it was very interesting. It was a different time, like you said, to be thanking them and saying, "Appreciate your support, and we hope to have your support continued on, with these other bills, and other action items that we're looking for."
So what have been some other things that you've been involved with here at NCPA during the past year? And it seems like yesterday that you all started in, in late June, and first time I met you was at the Cardinal RBC meeting in Denver, so
Yes, that was the first time. Yeah, and even starting there with all of the educational sessions that we were a part of,
right,
truly just so many amazing things that pharmacists are doing across the nation and able to teach other pharmacists who want to implement that within their own practice has been amazing. Um, Even some of the things that Charlotte touched on with writing grants and being a part
mhm,
of the full process. Within our first week, we were sitting in on a kickoff meeting for one of our, big grants that just wrapped up a couple of weeks ago. We gave our final report out to our sponsors, which was a smashing hit. It was really exciting
good to
to
hear.
be a part of, and even the writing of the grants and starting all the way at the beginning of the process, and as well as the implementation part of it, and
Right.
then seeing pharmacies absolutely thrive with these grants, and the results that we're getting is extremely positive, and so it's been amazing starting from diabetes, cardiovascular health, all the way to migraines, and probably my favorite is the social determinants of health
Oh,
aspect,
yes,
which
yeah.
I think is super important and ties back to what I started in pharmacy school with looking at the Missouri Vaccine Gap Closure Project and the social determinants of health that way as well.
So it sounds to me like you've really been exposed to some things that are gonna be valuable to you, post-residency program.
Yes, definitely. Something I've really appreciated about this residency is the variety of exposure that I have
Mhm.
gotten, especially with public health is something that I have really been able to dig into and just really flourish and blossom with and get to talk to leaders across the nation about. Even one of the grants that had to do with a vaccine roundtable,
Yeah.
I talked to one of our participants about the public health concerns of pharmacies being involved with an influx of world travelers for a certain international soccer championship coming to the United States very soon. So
Are you a
I
soccer fan?
I dabble a little. It's also really exciting because Kansas City is one of the major hub cities.
Oh, wow.
So I'm really excited about that. But it was amazing to work with Amanda Applegate is one of the people who I'm referring to, and it's just been a dream come true.
She's certainly been one of the leaders in the vaccine space for a long time, and Jacqueline, I'm really, really glad you mentioned public health because I think the opportunities for pharmacy and public health to collaborate are really boundless, and I think this was going on a little bit before COVID, but I think COVID shone a very bright light on pharmacy and public health working together for the good of people.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree. There's a lot of work to be done, and I know pharmacists are excited and happy to be a part of that partnership.
So, ask the same question of Charlotte. What um, what advice would you give to future residents? I mean, NCPA puts a lot of resources and time into making sure the executive residency program is a quality program. What advice would you have for future residents, coming on board?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would recommend taking advantage of getting to know people and talking with anyone and everyone that you can. Something that's been really exciting about the executive residency is not only are you meeting with so many pharmacy experts from across the nation, whether that is owners, pharmacists, technicians, community health workers, which is
Mm,
really where my understanding and passion for the residency started, but you also talk to so many people within the life science space, even insurances, people who are in the federal government and state government,
sure.
whether that is on the congressional side or within the offices who are dealing with the policy and regulatory side of things. Truly just keep an open mind and you'll never know who you're going to meet.
Great advice. And I just want to tell you how much I've enjoyed getting to know you and working with you when I was here. And, I want to wish you the best in all of your future endeavors. I'm sure you're going to be very successful and make a huge impact on the profession. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you so much, John. It's been such a treat working with you and having your smiling face around.
I appreciate that and appreciate all of you who tuned in. We invite you to listen to Independent RX Forum on your favorite podcast medium, and we invite you to tune in again next week.